Welcome back to the shop. Now is a good time for me to fix the front brake. So I'll do that before putting the pads and front wheel back in, just in case I spill anything, which is entirely possible for me to do. I do not want to get any of the fluid on the pads. So the master cylinder has to go back on with brand new crush washers, which I've picked up. Neat thing I learned about reusing crush washers is it's totally possible to do that, but they need to be annealed, and that means heating them up to an orange glow and then sanded down, and essentially what that does is soften the metal and then creates a new surface, so you get that that proper seal. I've done that for these, and I'm going to keep them because they're a bit of an odd sized washer. So I'll just have these for backup and put new ones in for now. I was ready just to put this thing back on the line with new crush washers, but as I was cleaning it up, I noticed that this boot was damaged. So I've opted to rebuild it. That way it goes on with everything brand new. And so right now I'm just taking it apart. I'll finish cleaning it up and I'll put new parts in it. Before I get much further, I'll just note that this spring goes here. It's a return spring for the lever. This conical spring goes here. And I'm just prying out the seal. Seems to be on a circlip. Here it comes, there. Got that out, and try to get better lighting here. There's a circlip in there. I'll try to get it out with this. This circlip is pretty corroded, which makes it a little bit tough to get out, but slowly coming. There. Grab the piston. There we go. Voila. Yeah, definitely a good time to do this. You can just see all the rust and junk coming out. Okay, I'm back with an all balls master cylinder rebuild kit. First thing is I'm going to put this little window back in. Got new O-rings. I don't think it's really crucial to take this out, but the reason why I did so was to properly clean the master cylinder, and I was using some solvent, and I really didn't want to cause any damage to this piece, so I removed it. This seal, I believe, should just go on the very end, right tight. Just press that in as far as it needs to go to get the clip down. Okay, that's good. Everything new should be in here, more or less. I've got this plastic piece that should go back in as well. Good. So I've put a little bit of brake fluid on the piston to help it slide in. This has to go spring end first. I need to take my circlip. So I need to depress that piston a little bit to help get this circlip in. only my pliers would cooperate. Apparently they're not very good. They just spin. What the heck, man? Maybe I need to modify these guys. And I made a new tool out of these pliers with my grinder. It's pretty surgical. Oh, perfect. There it is. Yeah, as I was saying, a bit surgical, because this I had to squeeze that circlip, this to push down the piston, and then this to push the circlip in. So we're dandy now. On to the next thing. So I've got this conical spring, and it goes behind the rubber boot like so, and the rubber boot also contains this piece of plastic. There we go. So to get this boot in, I'm going to use a socket. This 15 mil fits right over top. Fits nicely in there. Put a touch of grease to help it slide in. Yeah, that appears to be properly seated. Okay, so I've got my my handle, or my lever I should say. This piece has to go in like that, so oh, and I need to put this spring, this return spring, right here. I want to put some grease on this joint. Okay, so that adjuster screw has to go on the lever first. Then I can put the lever on with the return spring. Okay, and then I can put the bolt down just like that. I think it would be important to keep this greased up and clean, because when dirt and crud gets in there, there's probably a lot of potential for this joint to stick. And see, that little plastic piece twists inside that boot. So if that can't twist freely, it's going to catch and probably twist that boot and end up tearing it. So going forward, it would be a good idea to keep that good and clean and greased up. I'm gonna send a little bit more grease onto that piece. This has 14 adjustments, so I'm gonna set it to 7. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means that the lever is halfway. To fully tighten it, the lever would be as close as possible, and then to fully loosen it, the lever would be extended completely. So right now it's halfway. This looks to be in good shape now, so I can finally put it back on the line with new crush washers. Now it's time to bleed the system. So I've got this syringe here and I'm gonna fill it up with brake fluid. So I'll fill my reservoir up. Right there should do it. The bleed nipple is closed. I'm going to pump my brake lever. And if I remember correctly in the tutorials, I want to do this until I get a little bit of pressure building up. So holding this right now, I'm just going to crack this open and see what happens. I see. Okay, so a little bit came out, closed it back up. We'll do that process again. Okay, pumping back up. I've got some tape on that bottle now. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I'll check my level, add more fluid. I'm not really feeling any resistance right now. So I'm just going to keep going like this for a bit until I start feeling some resistance. Now I should mention that since the wheel is out and I don't have anything in the brake caliper right now, I did make a little block, this guy here, for the brake pistons to push up against. I carried on with the bleeding of the brake system and now I'm pretty much done the front brake repair. I figured it would be better just for me to explain the process instead of including footage that was really just repetitive and tedious. So where I left off was trying to pump fluid through the system, and that meant squeezing the front brake many times and then coming down here. I tried a couple different things. I tried cracking the bleed screw at the bottom while holding the lever and then also while not holding the lever. I figured holding the lever kept pressure in the line better, and so I did see movement of fluid. I used this syringe and it collected my fluid. I also tried a bottle. I tried a few different things, but I also wanted to see if this would work as like a vacuum. So doing the same thing, pumping up the brake, 20 plus times, cracking that bleed screw, having fluid come out. At the end of it though, like, it was just taking forever. It didn't really make any sense why I was having to repeat the process so many times. And so I opted to remove that bleed screw completely. So this guy here that's capped, took that out. I had fresh fluid in the system, so I just let that drain back into the container. And I wanted to do an inspection. Sure enough, there are 2 ports on this bleed screw and they were completely clogged, which would explain why at first I couldn't do a reverse bleed, which I tried with a syringe like this, filling it up and trying to push fluid backwards up into the master cylinder. It just wasn't happening, and I didn't give it much thought originally. When I probably should have. It would have saved me some time. But I was able to clean out those ports. I got that bleed screw real clean, and I just reverse bled the system. It worked perfect. Put that back in, not too tight. Filled this up with fluid, pushed the fluid through, and it pushed all the air out, came up through the master cylinder, and I topped it off. Now the front brake is feeling really good. Really good. So, actually, one more thing I'll mention, and I imagine this will come in handy when I just need to top off or bleed the system in the other manner, which would be just by filling the reservoir up and pumping it to get fluid through, capping this to get air up, and the neat trick that I saw and tried was flicking the lever, and that helped bring bubbles up. So that's good for the future. Otherwise, I'm just going to reverse bleed. Like if I need to change the fluid, it made more sense for me, and it was a lot quicker just to reverse bleed the system. And anyways, right now I just need to align the front wheel. I put the pads back in with a bit of grease, and got that spindle on 45 Newton meters tight. So what I want to do now is take my torque wrench, have it ready. I'm going to pull the bike off the stand. And I'm just going to roll it around a bit and apply that front brake. So while holding the front brake, I'm going to tighten up these screws. And I'm tightening these to 15 Newton meters. Like that. Oh, go over to the other side. And there we have it. I noticed that a leak was building up here at this fitting. So I suppose that those washers from All Balls weren't any good. I did have extras, so note to self, always have extra washers. And I pulled the fluid out, changed them, put new fluid back in the system, reverse bled it, and it seems okay. I don't see any leaks. So that'll be all for this video. Thank you very much for watching.